Hey everybody, this is LMP Games, and welcome back to our RPG Maker MV event tutorial series. In this video, we'll be talking about on-screen enemies. In the last video, we did map transfer events, and that video went much longer than I thought it was going to, but for good reasons. So this one, though, should be pretty short because there's not really much to do or say about this. It's just a very simple thing to do. So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to zoom back in because I'm zoomed out from the last video. And we're going to create a new map. We're going to make it go to the west here of this one. So let's go ahead and make a new map. We're going to call this on map enemies. Damn it. Overlay doing its overlay thing. Every single time. Every single time. So, we're gonna make this be 15 by 15 outside. No random encounters. So, what are on-screen enemies, on-map enemies? So, one of the more kind of modern ideas about game development, which I think is kind of crap because it's really just a fad. There is no real reason for this. I mean, I guess it adds a little bit more believability to your world, but at the same time, you're playing a game, so there should be some things that the player just accepts face value, like that there would be random encounters. So whether we're going to do random encounters or not, this is a way to do enemy fights without having random encounters, essentially. So we have our map here. We're going to go ahead and just set up the general tiling and stuff here. Gotta figure out where this is coming from. So this is on tile what? 6 from the top. So that's where our transfer is going to go. So that's where our entrance needs to be. Okay. And this is just going to come into here. We're not going to have it go anywhere specific. This will be like this will be a dead end on the path for all these maps. And essentially what we just need to do is we just need to create an event that can move around, and that when the player touches it, or when, I think in this case we'd want to do event touch, so when the event touches the player. I think event touch might work both ways. When it happens, that the battle will start. So for that, let's go look at our enemies real quick here. We got some basic ones in here. We got some troop setups, that's fine. I do want to create one more troop. And we're just have a single bat. I'm going to leave the front view battler system on. Now it's going to do side view for these. Generally, you want to turn on the side view system now. Most modern RPG Maker games use side view battling system. But it's not really, the battle system is not really the point for this. It's the act of setting up this event to work the way we want it to. All right, so we got a single bat and we got two bat battles here. So what we're going to do is we are going to go in and set up an event. Let's say they call this Bat1 A, meaning the Bat1, so the one bat fight, but the but the event name will essentially be A. We'll have 2 of these, so A and B. So for the image, we want to go find the monster palette. One thing I will note about this is that the monster sprite palette doesn't have all the enemies on there, so if you want to use on-screen enemies, you'll have to go find sprite images for the other monsters. It's a common problem with RPG Maker where they don't give you all the monster images for whatever the hell reason. Stupid, annoying, actually really annoying, because then you have to go either commission somebody to make the other ones for you, or more often than not, you'll find ones that are available for free because somebody went out and made them because they shouldn't have been made in the first place. But we're going to go and do the bats for this. So we'll get the bat sprite. We're going to get stepping, so we'll be moving around when it's not moving. And then we're going to do a random movement pattern. Now you could set this to move to player, but the problem with move to player is that everything then moves to the player, so the player gets swamped eventually, right? Instead, what should happen is that it just move around randomly, and then it runs into the player maybe, or the player goes to it, essentially. Let me see if it says what event touches specifically. Okay, yeah, so event touch is either when the player touches the event, or the event touches the player. It's both. So we could turn it on, it'll be either or. That's what we want. So when the player hits this, we want to start a battle. So we go to the third tab. Remember, that's where the battle processing is at. We click on that, and you can see now the battle processing window here. So we're going to pick the... so you can either pick the troop you want the player to fight directly, or you can set it up with a game variable, or you can make it be a random encounter. So you can still use the random encounter enemy system, but make it be a random enemy. Now the problem with that is that if it's a random enemy, you could have an enemy that's not the same as the sprite. So this only really works on maps where all the random enemies are the same type of enemy, which is not realistic. So this is really a useless option. There's no reason for it to exist. Don't use it. So you should turn on can escape and can lose for these. If you don't, then the player can't run, and if they can't lose if you don't have those turned on. Normally what this is meant to be for is like a boss enemy, so that's why these are there and can be set to be turned off. And then we're going to set up this to be the first, the single bat enemy. So if escape, so if the player escapes, what we want to do with this is we're going to have this, we're going to make this NPC fly away. So move away from player. If the player loses, we're going to do a game over. So we go to the third tab and do show game over. If the player wins, we're going to set a switch. The switch will be enemy defeated. Actually, we can't do that because we're going to have, if we do that for multiple, it'll defeat them all. So we have to say bat 1A defeated. This is kind of the problem with single fight on map enemies. Or what we can actually do with this one, we can do an erase event, because maybe when the player comes back, they should be able to fight this again. So this is where erase event can actually come into play, because you're going to move the event from the map temporarily, and then it comes back when the player leaves and comes back. So actually, we could do that here. Okay. So I'd apply, hit OK. We're going to copy this down to here. We'll call this one B. And then we're going to create another one that's going to be the dual bats fight. Bat 2A. And the processing will be for that too. Okay, and that's pretty much all you have to do. And that's really that's all there really is to do with these. Now there are some plugins you can get that will allow you to essentially have a spawner, like an event that will spawn events. And you can use those event spawners to spawn these on-map enemy events. But we're not going to show you how that goes because this is about using the built-in systems to do things and not using plugins to do things. Now, if you want to see a series about how to use plugins, let me know, and maybe I'll create a new tutorial series in our group of tutorials about using specific third-party plugins. So yeah, this is pretty much done. So let's go ahead and set up the transfer because that still hasn't been done yet. Let's transfer player to NPCs. Okay, apply. Okay. Go back over to here. We'll do the map transfer over to. I need to fix that one so I didn't put that one on player touch. On map enemies. We'll update our signpost there. Okay, so let's go back to here. We'll move our starting position back over to this map and we'll do a playtest. So if you check our map now, you'll see that, what happened with this? Oh, it's below character, same as. Another one of those issues. So shops and on-map enemies to the west. So we're gonna go this way. And we have our enemies here. You can see they're moving around. You probably could increase their speed a bit, I suppose. Let's go ahead and fight one of these ones up here. So I'm just going to go ahead and fight it. Show you what happens when we win. We're not going to be able to lose because we don't have these bats are not that powerful. So when we come back to the map, that enemy is gone. But if we leave and come back, it'll come back. Now if we try and, let's see if we can escape. Escaping from RPG Maker fights is insane if you haven't modified the system. That'll take us a bit of time. The default formula is total crap. So now it's trying to move away from the player, as you can see here. Now it's done with that 3 movement spaces that we set it up for. So if we leave and come back now, you'll see that other one is back as well. And that's basically how you do on-screen enemies, on-map enemies. Pretty simple stuff. You can make them more complex if you want to. Like you can have these be based on conditions. So if it's a particular part of the game where you want to have stronger enemies, you can set up another page as a switch condition, and that could be like a Minotaur or something, you know. So for example, let's actually do that, just to give this video a little bit more time on it. It's only 13 minutes so far. Let's update these a little bit. I'm going to make them move faster and faster, or normal speed, I guess. Just to show you how to do that. And how that would work. Also, on the move route, we're going to change the speed from normal to faster. And then faster back to normal. And then what we'll do is we'll have the Minotaur be the one that we show the game over thing on. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to create a We are going to create. So what would be the best way to do this? I think we need to use a game variable. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into these, and on win, we're going to change that game variable. So game variable 1, we're going to say bat counter. We're gonna add 1 to that. One thing we probably should do too is we need to set that to a value when we start the game up. So we're gonna set up kind of like a game settings auto run here event that will set up some stuff that we'll need to have set up. So we're going to do control variables, variable 1 set to 0, so it has a value that we're setting it to. And then we're going to do a self switch. And new page, self switch A. So this will happen once and then it won't happen again. That's what we want for that tab. That's what we want this to do. It's just to be a run once and then don't run again. Then on this transfer here, conditional branch, on that counter variable, if the variable is greater than or equal to 3, we're going to turn a switch on. We're going to call this switch spawn Minotaur. Alright. Then over on this map, we're going to do a whole thing. We're going to create a mini cutscene here of sorts. Let me grab this. We're going to add this on to these other ones. So basically, once we defeat all 3 of these and we leave, and then when we come back, we're going to be showing a Minotaur here. So, new page. Spawn Minotaur. We're going to have the Minotaur be here. Okay. It'll be fixed. Apply. And then we're going to have an event that will process for the cutscene. This will only run when Spawn Minotaur is on. And what we're going to have it do is actually close this real fast. Alright, so we're going to have some text. We're going to have I'll have 3 say something. Okay, and then we'll have Herald. So we're going to put that in there. And I want to have this, I actually want to do one more thing. which is I want to auto close the window after that, which I believe is the carrot. Normally you wouldn't do this, except for specific situations. Because normally you want the player to say, okay, I'm ready to continue, kind of thing. Then we're going to do a balloon thing. So we're going to use the show balloon icon, player, exclamation. And we're going to have the Minotaur say something. Then we'll do a move route for the Minotaur. We're going to set the speed to highest, or the highest speed, and frequency to the highest frequency. And we're going to have the Minotaur move towards the player. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So at the highest frequency, and then we're going to start the battle processing with the Minotaur. Can lose, can't escape. Doesn't give me like a boss fight. If lose, game over. Actually, if lose, we're going to do a little extra. And then we'll do the game over. And if when and then we're going to do a little more extra. We're going to go to move right again. And we're going to essentially make the enemy kind of flash out of existence like they do in some RPGs, older RPGs. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a... We're going to do transparent on and off. So we're going to hit on, we'll do a wait for 15 frames. Actually, let's do 45. Transparent off. Then do a wait for 15 frames. Transparent on. Then off, then on, and we'll change this to 35. And then 20 frames. And transparent off. Transparent on. Uh, 15. Five frames. And transparent stays on after it. So it's a huge, huge thing, but it's going to look interesting. And then we'll do an erase event. Actually, we should do not an erase event, but a control switch. Galtar defeated. Because this one shouldn't come back when we come back to the map. Okay. So, let's let's see how this works. So we go in, we do the fighting. Actually, let me make these a bit weaker. They're a little bit spongy. And it'll make the Minotaur a little bit more tanky. Headphone user saved. Okay. So let's see how this all works and what issues there are, if any. So this should be pretty easy to beat now. Yeah, 2 hits. And they should be pretty weak compared to us. Which is intentional. I want these to be easily gotten throughable. Alright, so we're going to leave and come back, and when we do, we should have that cutscene that runs. Oh, we didn't get we needed to turn the bats off. we need to put multiple in there. Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, maybe this goes, but no, we do have to put that in there. I should probably give it a fire weakness. Yeah, a little bit tanky, but again, bosses should be a bit tanky. Given the fire weakness will help with that a little bit though. Yeah, so there you go. That's your classic enemy disappearing effect. So that actually worked out pretty well. So yeah, on these we need to go in and make a new page for Minotaur spawned. And I think we want to copy these and paste for when defeated. That way the enemies come back. Do that for each one of these pages. Or in events. Create our own. Create a new set of pages. Or wait, spawn, not defeated. The effect will be though they'll appear after you defeat them instead of when you come back, but that's an easy thing to fix. So on this we need to go in and on the speed. I don't know, Minotaur play, we need to do multiple of these. Now let's also go in and give him that weakness we wanted to do. So, elemental rates, fire. Um, 175. So almost double damage from fire. Let's also give him a dual attack occasionally. Make him a bit more threatening. Oh, I also want to increase his damage by 10 points. Because now I want to see what happens when we lose to him. Confirm that process. That one will be able to kill us pretty quick. If you're trying to die. Get back here. Okay, we'll come back in. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we go. That worked out pretty well. I was just guessing the number. So I forgot what number it was between them. That worked out pretty well. So I'm just going to do normal attacks for now. 164 damage, good. Alright, so let me hit him with magic once. Nice, there we go, cool. Pretty decent amount of damage there. Yeah, this guy feels more like a boss now. Bosses should do about 10% of your, be able to do 10% of your character's health and damage, on average, in order to feel menacing. They can do more than that for specific attacks, but like their total damage output over all their attacks they can do should be about 10% average. Just to make the fight feel threatening to the player. He doesn't use the dual attack yet. When he does, I'm gonna get jacked up. Well, Lucius survived that. Well, there's the double. And that's how you can do a scripted game over. So that's how you do on-screen enemies, and then we also did a little added bonus of doing a small little cutscene with a boss appearing after you clear out this map the first time. Once again, I'm going to breach into the writing aspect of it. Specific enemies like a boss should have a name of some kind, not just be Minotaur, but actually have a name. And then you should have like at least some information about that enemy's backstory, like where it came from, what it is, and then you can like kind of build stuff around it using that. So yeah, that is this video. Like I said, to be pretty simple, so we added a little bit more complexity to make the video more interesting. Yeah, hopefully found this useful. The next video we'll be talking about branching dialogue. So dialogue that will branch based on certain conditions. And after that will be cutscenes. Talking about cutscene stuff. But yeah, so thanks for watching. Comments, questions, leave them below. And I will catch you guys for the next one of these. And until then, this is LMP Games. I will see you guys later.